the PLI scheme. Let's move on then. Havells India came out with a steady set of numbers. Will the growth momentum continue? Anil Rai Gupta, Chairman Managing Director, is with us on the show. Thank you so much, Mr. Gupta, for taking time out. We did see a strong set of numbers, but walk us through what going forward you're expecting by way of the second wave impact on your Q1 earnings.
Well, the situation is very different than the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter ended with a very good growth, with a high, because the second and third quarter growth momentum continued in the fourth quarter. Obviously, as around the 15th of April, when the lockdown started happening, the second wave, ferociousness started coming in. The sales have taken a hit, and it's not like last year where it is a complete shutdown, but there is practically a lockdown in each and every state. So that will affect the demand both from a primary point of view and from a tertiary point of view as well. So going forward, I think hopefully this thing should settle down and business should start coming back in a short period of time.
Okay, moving on then, Mr. Gupta, the second year for the summer products, this is the second year that we're seeing that the summer product sales have been impacted. What are the current level of sales for these products? What is the decline in sales compared to the pre-COVID levels that you witnessed?
Well, since it is a lockdown, so it is not comparable at all to a normal summer like 2019. Last year it was a complete lockdown, complete shutdown, so there were no sales. There are small sales happening, but it is nowhere in comparison to a normal summer.
So given the continued second wave, have you reduced your production as well as the likes of your peers? What is the production level that the industry would be operating now?
When the financial year ended, we were carrying decent amount of inventory because of the season coming in. So in many of the product categories, production levels have to be cut down because of the demand scenario right now. But as happened last year, organized companies like ours, we have quite a flexible production system. We should start coming back soon, but I believe it makes sense for us to cut production at this stage in most of the product categories, especially in summer products where we had already built inventory for the season.
So despite the increase in raw material prices, the company has managed to report good margins. Are these margins sustainable considering commodity prices are on a rise?
Well, I think, generally speaking, we've always maintained that we pass on whether there is a cost increase in commodities or reduction in commodities to the marketplace. And sometimes it happens that there could be a time lag. In the fourth quarter, there was, quite a sharp increase in raw material prices. And in certain categories, we have seen a margin dip, but certain expansion in certain categories also. However, over a period of time, over the next second quarter and third quarter, these will get adjusted and we would come to normalized margin levels.
Now, by way of your segmental growth, the switchgears and cable segment has seen steady growth. What kind of recovery are you seeing in industrial, infrastructure, real estate, and do you think that this momentum can continue?
Yeah, in fact, from the third and fourth quarter, we started seeing, firstly, we started seeing residential and consumers started doing better. From the fourth quarter, in fact, till the second and third quarter, the industrial and infrastructure segment was still sluggish. But fourth quarter started seeing some respite. In fact, in January and February, we saw growth. Obviously, March was on a low base. So there was, I would say, pull coming from the industrial and infrastructure segment also. Things have changed now again because of the second wave, and so we will have to see how things pan out once the lockdowns open up. But yes, fourth quarter did see some growth in the industrial and infrastructure segment as well.
All right, moving on then, give us a sense as to, whether or not you think the company will be able to recoup the lost sales, or do you think that this summer sales as well are likely to be pretty much similar to what we witnessed last time?
Well, as I've already said, it is difficult to say at this point of time, but I do not feel, because April and May are the biggest months for products like air conditioners. So I do not feel, just like last year, we could not recover the sales of April and May in the coming months. It should be difficult even this year, because these are seasonal products and people generally buy when the summer is really high. And hopefully, when lockdowns open up, the weather situation will be different, and so we will not be able to recover entirely the sales lost in April and May.
By the company in Q4 and probably in Q1 as well, is the price hike sufficient, or you need to take more to maintain margins?
Yeah, so it is going on. As I said, fourth quarter saw a sharp increase in raw material prices: copper, plastics, aluminum, steel, and those have to be passed on to the market. It depends on product to product category, because fans could be very different than cables and wires. But price increases had to be passed on, and some amount of price increase is impending in the coming times also once lockdowns open up, because the entire raw material cost had not been passed on to the market because of disruption in the demand. So this will be taken up once the lockdowns open up. So yes, some amount of price increases will have to be done if the raw materials continue at this pace.
What is your current market share given the shift from organized to unorganized? Do you expect this to continue?
Well, we've seen in demonetization, GST implementation time, and especially last year, post-COVID, we saw organized players getting a better market share for many reasons: supply chain, distribution, trust on the brand and quality. So a lot of things happened, and last year we saw market share gains in each product category. And I believe that going forward, the trust on brands and quality will continue to increase, and this will definitely have an impact on market share gains even in the future.
And finally, with the ACLI scheme being announced, have you participated in it? When are you likely to hear from the government?
Well, we are still waiting for the final details, but what we understand is that the PLI scheme is not on the finished products, but on the intermediary products like components. So that will have an impact, but a limited impact on manufacturers like us who sell the final product to the consumer. So there will be some amount of investments which will happen in the intermediary products, but not so much as what we were expecting earlier. So we will still wait for the details and see whether we would be participating in some components.
Thanks, Mr. Gupta, for sharing with us the outlook. It certainly has been an encouraging set of numbers from the company. That's the word coming in from Havells. The stock down 1% at 1,051. With news that we're at 15,073, let's take a quick break. Be right back. Lots more top management voices.